Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the weekly timetable for the weeks of April 28th, 2019. I'm your host, Ellis, otherwise known as Train Man or the Admiral, and this week we have quite a bit to talk about. You may notice that the background, let me just straighten that up just a little bit. Not sure how tall I want that to be. The background has changed just a little bit. You can see Shatner's hand over in the corner, but they are stuck in a corner. You've got a Minecraft poster hanging from the door to the front room, Portal 2 poster set to the ground next to one of our many step stools. The world map, this is all the places that Madison and I have been, which right now is relegated to only a handful of places, but we have a lifetime to expand that map. And the Destiny poster because Madison finds it very cool. So that had been hanging in the other room for quite a while, and I wasn't really going to put it up because I'm honestly kind of lukewarm on Destiny. I never played it that much. I got it when it came out. I was really hyped, obviously, hence the poster. And like I thought it was enjoyable, but not really engaging. Those games where it's like, okay, I guess I can play this a little bit, and that's that. And I never had like a crew. I never had a squad, never had a group of people to go and do the raids with and all that end game content that they eventually ended up coming out with that made the game good. Destiny 1 was pretty good by the end of its run. I will admit that. But, I just think that as far as Bungie goes, following up the Halo series was pretty difficult, to say the least, and I think most things that they created would have been sort of critically panned. Tristan Channel says, where are we dropping, boys? I don't know, actually. I don't know these maps well enough. Actually, so just as a side note, because that's a Battle Royale sort of thing, Halo Infinite has said that they are not coming out with a Battle Royale, which, in a way makes me glad because it's one less mode to dilute the player base. You want a concentrated player base. But at the same time, I really wish that it had included that. I didn't get BF5. I didn't get Black Ops 4. I don't own PUBG, and I've never played Fortnite. I've really missed out on all the battle royales that there are. I considered picking up Black Ops 4 specifically. Shatner's over here. That's his hand right there. Specifically for the battle royale because it seemed really good. I just didn't have anybody to play it with. And a lot of people asked me to get PUBG on my computer so that I could play with them. Wild and TJ and them they were into it for quite a while, and I just couldn't justify the $30 because I'm not that good at shooters in general, specifically shooters on PC, because I play with a controller. I'm much more familiar and comfortable with it. So I went and I played Fallout 4 a lot, which is sort of the other game where you can scavenge and pick up weapons and shoot things. I mean, if I may justify it for a little bit, if you think about it, it's a very well encapsulated game mode. It's the kind of thing where you always start in the same playing field as everybody else, and you get luck of the draw. Either your game's over quick and you get to start again, or you get into these really, really tense scenarios. I feel like after watching a lot of Let's Plays of Battle Royales, so, 3 people saying don't understand the Battle Royale hype in the chat, it's the kind of thing where you are presented with a new corner of this world to explore every time, and you're bound to get in these tense situations, these tight situations, that you really can't replicate too many other ways, especially with the luck aspect of finding loot, and the exploration. So, well, I mean, Graham, that is a Battle Royale. He says, I'll stick with Minecraft Hunger Games, Lamau. That's the same basic concept. I mean, it was around, hey, David Mitchell, it was around before the sort of Battle Royale stuff picked up with PUBG and then Fortnite and then all the others. But, I mean, it's the same basic concept. I wouldn't say it's the OG necessarily. There were probably ones that predate it, but it was a very popular one. Like you said, it's the OG. So Minecraft is the true battle royale. I mean, honestly, I never really got that into it. I kind of wish I had, because a lot of the sort of gameplay elements that I enjoy out of the concept of battle royale, of course, are very present in in a Minecraft battle royale. So in a Minecraft Hunger Games. So I maybe I should get into that more. Maybe I should try it, you know? There are some of these minigame servers that I have plugged in on my Minecraft, and I'd really like to do it, especially with the new combat. You know, a lot of PvP players, they really tout the old Minecraft combat, and and they think that 1.9 was this big downgrade and yada yada. I don't agree. I'm not really a PvPer, so my opinion probably isn't as valid as some of these guys who do it. I wouldn't say professionally, but very frequently. But I feel like the Minecraft PvP, despite the difference and the new complexity, I still think it's an improvement. I think it's a huge upgrade because now you have a little bit more depth, you have a lot more depth in the PvP. You know, you have weapons that do different things. I mean, right now it's just the sword and the axe, but you have a shield to block that and stuff like that. Yeah, it's much deeper than it previously was, and I really think that matters. I think that matters a lot. So even if it isn't perfect, I still think it's a step up from the 1.8 in previous combat, where what really mattered is how fast you can click the sword. Release 1.4 is the best version. All one's opinions are valid. What came out on Release 4, Tristan? I don't remember. Release 1.4. Anyway, David Mitchell says Virgin Trains USA just started building the route to Orlando. That's cool. I'm excited about that, but let's see how many more people. Flowers? Oh, yeah. Flower pots. Okay. You know what was good, actually? Beta 1.4. You know what came out there? Wolves. Those are the real... Wolves and beds, actually. Although beds were around before, they just didn't work right. Bork. So, anyway, let's get into the stuff for this episode. Let's get this out of the way, because I know it's been a little while. This is a day late, but yesterday things got kind of hectic, and I decided to put it off. Madison was in here. We got the TV set up, everything. We were watching SVU and eating pizza. So we had a great night, and I wasn't going to interrupt that and be like, all right, scram, because I got to make this. But she might show up later, which segs into what we're going to do tonight. So tonight, oh, I have a pen in my pocket. I didn't mean to steal that from work. Oh, well. Tonight, we may be jumping into a SAR stream in an hour or so. I actually am going to get off, go probably eat something, and then come back and maybe stream Minecraft, because I have a lot to do in Minecraft with my villagers in my villager dungeon, thingies. David Milcher says, I've gone to a train show yesterday. Which one? That's cool. Jader says, hippity hoppity howdy, partner. Yee, and I cannot stress this part enough, ha. So, yeah, we might be doing a Minecraft stream tonight, and maybe Madison will join us. That would be nice. Under Construction and Zombie Train should come out as normal this coming week. There's really nothing special about that. Hopefully we get a couple of comments this time around, although last time I had no real shortage of things to talk about. And Ellis, are you wearing the flannel again? No, this is not flannel. This is just a regular plaid shirt. I have a lot of plaid. I like plaid more than I like flannel. It just so happens that my flannel shirts have plaid. So, unfortunately, I'm not sure about War Thunder this week, because Wednesday is kind of a big day for me. I have to go down to Glastonbury, as I'll explain in just a moment, and then my dad's coming by, and we're going to be working on some stuff, including snaking some pipes, which are acting finicky and stuff like that. And some N-scale stuff at the train show. You know, I'm batting 1,000 for train shows. I've talked about this before, but I have never bought a single thing at a model railroad show, ever. And that's a hard thing to do, I know, but it's really just the motivation of not coming home with more junk that keeps me from buying things at train shows. However, this coming year, like 2020, I guess it's going to be, when I go to the Amherst Model Railway Show, and probably bring Madison along because she seemed to like it last time, I'm going to be looking for one thing and one thing only, and that is a Bachmann 440 with sound, HO scale. I need one because nothing else will run on the Providence Northern modular layout that we take to the Big E show. So, 2 years ago, the first time when we debuted the modular layout, I actually went and I grabbed a 440 from the New England Berkshire and Western Club at RPI, and I took it with me. I wrapped it up, attached it to a board, and I took it with me. And N-scale GB40-2. What engine? Oh no, there's a fight between 119 and Jupiter breaking out in the chat. Milky and Graham. Fight, fight, fight. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Wait a minute. Can we do locomotive versus on those two? I know they're like identical. If you find one with DCC, I can hook you up with sound. I really appreciate that, Jader. That'd be awesome, actually. So maybe I will just find one with DCC. I know it's hard to put sound in those things because they're really small and they don't come with sound out of the box, I'm pretty sure, for that reason. But if you want to undertake that, I will pay you. You know, I'm waiting for Weibel to have enough free time to do up my Mikado as blown. It's actually sitting over there in my pile of boxes. Many, many piles of boxes, as a matter of fact. There are so many boxes that I am doing my best to just take care of one box a day, and then someday in the distant future, I will have all the boxes sorted. There are the two that I did last couple of days have been like super easy because it's like, oh, this is a box of tools. It just goes in the basement. But there are some where it's going to be like, all right, like, let's open this and check all the stuff inside, which can get me sometimes. I can't do that alone because I will just cry. I will cry if I find something particularly heartfelt that my parents stowed away many, many years ago. I found a box full of stuff, including a music box that my grandmother used to play, and it so turned on the waterworks for me. And I hadn't cried like that in forever. Oh, there's no stats for them. Oh, that's a shame. For 119 and Jupiter, that kind of sucks. Did Jupiter have a number at all? Anyway, well, the Spectrum ones without sound have the holes in the tender for speaker. I don't know about the Spectrum ones. Either way, oh, okay, it was 60. Thanks. Either way, I just need a 440. I just need something that'll make it around those turns. I was thinking a Bachmann one because I just know they're around and available. So, oh wait, is Bachmann Spectrum? Is that like a sub-brand of Bachmann, or am I confusing things? Spectrum is better, not gonna lie. Okay, no, so it is different. Thomas is not a 440. I did a video to the train show on my YouTube channel. Ooh, you just reminded me about another video before we go on to the next thing. I filmed an Acela taking off from Providence Station earlier, and I might upload that. Thomas will make the turns. Actually, no, he won't. Anything with 3 axles connected will not make the turns. Lee doesn't make the turns. And actually, no 3-axle trucks will make the turns either. So it's a pain in the neck. Anyway, so let's move on. Let's go to the next bit. So this week, right, I just came from Boston. I actually had an interesting, it's not about the curves themselves, it's about the kinks in the curves because the track is not laid perfectly. So that's the reason why. It'll derail at the kinks. Anything with 3 axles will derail. Anything with 2 coupled will make it. Anyway. So yeah, today I had an interesting commute, something I hadn't done since I was probably in kindergarten. I rode the bus. Down at the end of the street, I live in a dead-end street. It goes down to Chalkstone Avenue. Chalkstone Avenue, there's a bus line, the 56 bus, that runs from the Stop and Shop right over here, over the hill, down by the State House, and drops me off directly in front of the station. It's about a 20-minute ride. It's $2. It's so much more worth it than paying $15 to park at the train station every single day. And I can, either bring it, I can either take it back when I get back from work or call somebody to pick me up, which I did today, actually. My mom was in the area, and she generously gave me a ride home. So that's today and tomorrow I'm going to Boston, so I have to get up early again and catch my bus. But again, actually a great experience. And if I take the earlier one, I might actually be able to take an earlier train. Or no, I did take the earlier one. If I take the later one, I'm cutting it a little bit close if that bus is late at all, but it does let me sleep like an extra 20 minutes, so maybe I'll do that. But I'm probably not going to do that because I don't want to take the later bus. I want to leave the later bus in case I miss the earlier bus, in case I screw up. There's like a 20-minute gap, and I can stand there for 20 minutes. It's not the end of the world. But if I miss the first bus, then I don't want it to be the end of the world. I want to have a backup plan. And the backup plan is, okay, I take the second bus, and it still gets me there in time to catch the train out of Providence. Because my train, it's the same one that I took out of TF Green, but it actually lingers in Providence Station for about 10 minutes. I'm not sure why. I assume it's either because they're worried about making a gap in the schedule, or because they are worried about catch-up time. They need to either wait for the line to be open, or they need to, or they're worried about the train being late in the first place. Anyway, I'm going to get to Thomas and shove DCC in it and bring it for the lulz. in it bring for the lulz? Bring it where? Uh, anyway, yeah. So Monday and Tuesday going to Boston, and the layover on the way back is kind of annoying, which is why I want to ride. And then on Wednesday, I'm meeting my boss Phil at the Warwick office. We're carpooling to Glastonbury, Connecticut. Literally, the only reason we're going out there is because they want to do a traffic group photo. I don't think it's worth it, but I guess we're going out there. I'm not super excited, but such is life. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna undo all my stuff. My docking station and wires and everything. I think I'm just gonna go there with just my laptop and deal with it. So yeah, they were like, "Why are you going to Glastonbury?" In the Boston office, they asked me that, and I was like, "No, there's a picture. They want us to take a picture. I think it's stupid." Or well, I didn't say that, but they laughed. So we agreed, even though nobody said it was stupid out loud. Anyway, so that's my work week. I did work at Providence Station the last 2 days this weekend. I had shifts counting passengers getting on and off the trains. And I made some friends, and I actually, on the way home today, ran into a friend of my family on the train, which was kind of funny. I'm just sitting in my seat minding my own business. She gets up to exit the train, and she's standing there. She looks down and she goes, "Ellis?" And I was like, "What?" Like, huh? You don't expect to hear your name called on a train full of strangers. Anyway, that was great. I hope I run into her again, 'cause she's a great person. Anyway, so Horseman update, which really boils down to Milky messaged me asking me if I had lines for scene 9, and I don't know if I do. I don't think I do. And my sort of response is, I don't know. I haven't touched it yet. I've been really busy moving. But so there's some urgency there. I'm not the only person that wants to get this done. I know I've said that before, and I know that should be fairly obvious. But it's good to know that people are like, hey, you know, what's the progress? Because it feels more acceptable than for me to be like, listen, I'm gonna go and do this right now, or I need you to do this, or whatever. The Horseman is still, it's a project. It's a huge project, and there are plenty of people that want to see it worked on. I want to get it done. I'm just busy. I've been moving. Hopefully, once I get back from my trip, which I'll talk about in a minute, we'll have a lot more free time. And hopefully on the trip, maybe during the flights, maybe on the drives out and back to Utah, I'll have some time to do some writing. I'll have Weibold literally trapped in a car so we can discuss things. So, for 8 hours each way, I'll have Weibold and Jader. So, anyway, yeah, maybe I'll do some writing. I'd like to do that. I haven't really had time, but I did open up a document, and I have to do some writing for the DOT for the Minecraft server, which I'm going to get to in a minute. Because that's actually, I'll get to it right now. That's what I've been playing lately, almost completely. In fact, ever since 1.14 came out, which was on less than a week ago, I've been all over it. And I'm so excited. I'm actually really enjoying the changes. I'm a little lukewarm in a lot of the textures, but I'm using the new textures because I'm like, yeah, this is what people are going to see. This is what almost everyone is going to see. So I want to know what things look like. I want to know what everyone else is seeing. The one thing about using a texture pack that I don't like is now you're viewing the world through a lens that's different. And your color combinations and your designs and stuff, they might not look right to people not using that texture pack. So that's the reason why I'm moving up in the textures, even though I do miss a lot of the old textures and I think the new ones are kind of but I'm almost certain that that's because we're so used to the old textures, and there's probably going to be some texture tweaks as more feedback comes in. So we shall see, but I'm just going to go with whatever the Minecraft textures are. I've been using default textures forever and ever, with a couple minor great breaks for like Glimmer, Steampunk, and stuff like that. I have to check out when that's updated, though. The thing I'm not looking forward to, though, is going out and ransacking some villages because you can't craft bells yet. I kind of wish every shipwreck had a bell. It would make sense. Because ship's bells are kind of a big deal, but they don't. So I've got to go and I've got to go find some villages and I have to steal their bells. Maybe I'll do that today. Maybe I won't. We'll see. I just want to put one in my thing. Ooh, it'd be cool to get bells with different tones. That'd be nice. Anyway, I did play a little bit of War Thunder, but it's been like 90% Minecraft with my free time, which has been limited because of things like cooking and cleaning and unpacking and such. So one of the other things that you have to do when you get a house or when you move in with someone, especially somebody or particularly somebody that you're in a relationship with and you're like merging your finances because you're living with them. Uh, I had to get on Madison's phone plan, and she's on Cricket, and less than a year ago, actually, it was probably a little more than a year ago now because it was spring break. Dean sent me this phone, which is a Droid Max. It's from like 2013. It is not the youngest thing, but it works fairly well. I had broken my phone like a fool, and Dean was awesome, and he was like, "Would you like this phone?" He was trying to sell them, and I asked what company they were for, and I had Verizon. It wasn't good. He asked what company they were for, and or I asked that rather, and he's like, they're for Verizon. And I was like, oh, can I buy that one off of you? Can I buy the one on the left? Or, because he had the picture of the two of them. And he's like, I'll just send it to you. Okay. So he gave me a phone, so I totally owe him, but, super excited when I got it, and I just, it's served me really great. It's got actually really good battery life, too. There are a couple things it can't do, but really I'm not complaining. I just use it to make calls and text and look on Reddit. So I don't need a phone that does 100,000 different things. I don't game on my phone at all, so I don't need like a one with a good processor or really anything. I'd be happy with a overpowered Nokia, really. But so I have this phone. It's too old to be locked. I took it to the Verizon store, and they were like, it doesn't need to be unlocked because I asked them about moving. It doesn't need to be unlocked, and you can, you should just be able to take it to wherever. And I was like, all right, sweet. So I eventually went with Madison to the Cricket store and tried to get it sorted out. And she warned me, she said, you need your account number before you come in. And so I texted my dad, I said, what's the account number and the PIN for the phone plan? Because I'm on a phone plan, I'm under my stepmom with him and myself. Or I was. And so he goes, the account number is the same as the phone number. Makes sense. And here's the PIN. So we're in the Cricket store for a while. Madison buys a new phone and upgrades and whatever. Trades her old phone in and gets a little rebate. That's the long version. That's the short version of the story. And we get friendly with people there, and then the thing won't go through. The computer keeps freezing or it keeps erroring out. They're calling like their tech line and they can't figure it out. And they're like, and I go, are you sure that it's the right account number? Because they're getting this particular error. And they go, well, what is it? And I said, well, it's the same as the phone number, right? And they go, no, it shouldn't be if you don't have a prepaid phone. And I went, okay, let me ask. And so I called my dad. He didn't answer. I called Claire. She didn't answer. So nobody knows at this point. I go, okay, well, let me just call Verizon and ask. So I call 611. That's Verizon. Or the tech support, whatever. And somebody picks up, and I go, okay, this is the PIN. This is my name. I need the number for this account. And they go, you're not on the account. And I go, what? And, so, yeah, all the, and I remembered all three lines are under Claire. My name is not anywhere on there. My dad's name isn't anywhere on there either. When the caller ID comes up, when I call somebody with this phone, or when I did, it would say Claire Tamelio. And so it was a little confusing, and it was also kind of awkward getting calls for Claire from like telemarketers being like, no, this isn't Claire. And they'll be like, okay, we'll call back later. It's like, no, this will never be Claire. And so for a minute, I had to be Claire. Or I wasn't specifically, but that's what had to happen because I called them up and they said, your name isn't on this account. We can't give out the account number. And I go, what the hell? This is my phone. I'm calling with this phone, 644-6423. That's my phone number if you want to call me. And like I have been on this account longer than Claire has had the name Tamelio. I don't understand what the issue is. Why can't you give me the account number for my phone? And they're like, well, we can't prove that it's you. And I'm like, but I have the PIN. Isn't that the security enough? I go, I literally said to him, the guy on the phone, the third time I called, if my name was on the account, would you have to ask me any further questions? And he said, no. And I went, okay, thank you. And so I hung up, And I gave Madison the phone and I called 611 again. I said, "You are Claire Tamelio. You are Claire Tamelio. All you need to do is say that's your name and then give them the PIN and then they will give you the account number." They didn't even need the PIN. Literally, they picked up, she goes, "I'm Claire Tamelio." And they go, "Okay, here's your account number." It's like, what? Anyone, that could have been anyone. It could have been anyone. They didn't even ask for the PIN. They didn't ask for a birthday or a social security number or a password or anything. They didn't ask for the one piece of security the account actually had. It's not the power of females. I could have said I was Claire. They didn't check anything. Also, they do come in handy sometimes. Rude. Uh, uh, it's I'm sure if I had called up and said I'm Claire, they would have just gone with it. They wouldn't have had any further questions. They didn't ask Madison anything. Uh, I am Spartacus Claire Tamelio. Yeah. Also, hi TVA. Uh, uh, I'm Claire. I mean, the guy at the store was like, "You could just say you're trans if they ask." And I was like, "I'm not." Well, it's like, okay, to what length am I willing to lie to get this account number? Because nobody was answering the phone, and I'd been in the Cricket store for like 3 hours. I'm gonna call Verizon and say I'm Claire D'Amelio and cancel your plan. Jader says it's 2019. Yeah, it's 2019. I should be able to get my goddamn account number. It's my phone. I pay for it. Anyway, they got me on Cricket. Cricket works just fine. I have unlimited data now. It's wonderful. And I have my hotspot back. So it's just fine. Things turned out A-okay. Except the bill they sent us is wrong. But it's cheaper than what they said. So I'm not going to complain right now. Yeah, I am Claire. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Jedi mind tricks work over the phone, Milky. Anyway. So that's the... You're not bitter at all. No, I'm not bitter even a little. So, yeah. So that was the phone fiasco. That was my entire Friday, basically, which made me have to work more while I was working over the weekend. So that was annoying. But either way, I got to play some Minecraft, so I was happy. Meanwhile, right, so I had to drive myself to Providence Station on the weekend because I didn't want to try to catch the 56 bus in the wee hours of the morning, to catch the first train so I could count the people getting on and off of it. And I had to drive my 940 there because the wagon is up with Tony. So I realize, and I realize this already, but it's important that I bring it up, or I want to bring it up. I realized why there's such an issue with my brakes, or what the issue really is, or what the consequences of the issue is. Because when Tony gave it back to me, he goes, it's good, it drives, it runs, it needs brakes. And he actually wrote on the piece of paper, the invoice, here's all the line items of the things that he did to my car, and then underneath it, big letters, he wrote asterisk brakes asterisk. Like, make sure you remember to tell me to do your brakes when you come back with this car. And I'm gonna bring it back to him after the trip because so here's the issue. I step on the brakes and the brakes come on, which is normal. But I take my foot off the brakes and the brakes do not come off. The brakes stay on. And so then you have to drive with the brakes on just a little, and then they'll sort of come loose, but the car will like because it's trying to hold the brakes down for some reason. The brakes are just stuck, closed, active while you're driving, even if your foot is not on the pedal. And eventually it'll hit. Yes, my phone number is still the same. I made sure the two things with Cricket, wasn't this a plot point and call me comrade? No, but I'll get to the consequences, the immediate consequences. No, Westy did not have the consequences happen to him. My phone number is still the same, and my phone is still the same. If I could not keep the phone and the phone number, I would not have gone with Cricket. Just put it up a notch. The independent is stuck. Exactly. Except here's the issue. Cars have hydraulic brakes. When you step on the brake pedal, it activates the master cylinder, which pushes the brake fluid, which pushes the pads. Brake fluid is a fluid, and it works because it's in liquid form. It is in a liquid state. And if your brakes heat up a lot, the liquid becomes gaseous, and then your brakes do not work anymore. So that happens after you drive for a little while. Uh, and it becomes an immediate problem because suddenly you have very little braking power. Volvos are nice because they have two completely independent braking systems, and if one starts to heat up and boils all the brake fluid, the other one will still work. And it's 3 wheels and 3 wheels. Oh man, TBS says a couple of the cars had the brakes get stuck when he was watching 10 and they couldn't move. That sucks. But yeah, so I would be driving down the highway and I'd just sort of like press the brakes and it would sort of go much farther than it otherwise would have. And I go, ooh, I should pull over. I should pull over or something and wait this out. But I only need to bear with it for another week or so, and then I leave for a week. I get out of here, I get on a plane, and I fly out to Colorado, and I get to hang out with Weibold, and we get to go to Utah, and I get to hang out with Milky and Achilles and maybe Graham and Jader, and I am super excited. It's the first big horseman trip in a couple of years. Last year Madison and I went on the Amtrak. Madison is not making it for this one because, well, money and because she's got to watch the house. But the last major trip was the Pennsylvania Special, and that was a couple of people coming out here. So this year has these two major events between the 150th in Utah and 611 coming to Strasbourg, which, I believe Jader was going to come in for that. Eric's coming in for that. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. I'm super looking forward to this. So, what's the other thing? Right. I also might get to see Weibo a little later in the year because Sabaton announced their North American tour, and they've got shows in Worcester and Denver, and whichever one Weibo can make it to, I'm going to make it to as well. So anyway, Matthew Bacon says, "Yay, I'm going to be there." Yes. Yes, Little Horseman meetup at Strasbourg. I can't wait. I hope by then I can order the magnets for the side of the wagon and get the big horseman magnets on the wagon. I think it'd be awesome. If not, look for the black Volvo wagon with the Hi Neighbor bumper sticker. So, I don't know why Worcester. Mason asks, why Worcester? I don't know. They could have gone with Boston or Providence. They went with Worcester instead. I think it's because Worcester has metal conventions. So it's like they already know the place. They've already gone and performed at this location because there is an existing metal convention there. So that's why Sabaton's going to Worcester, I assume. Man, I wish I could go to Sabbath. Sabbath? Like Black Sabbath? It's the sus. Graham sleep in Minecraft. This is not the ideal communication method to get Graham to sleep in Minecraft. But anyway, that's everything for me. I'm going to go hop on the Minecraft server if anyone wants to join me. That is 108.34.183.85. We are on the most recent version, which is 1.14. But I'm eagerly awaiting a nice little bug fix update to patch out a couple of the weird things that have come up in 1.14. Anyway, this has been a long one, but I think it's almost overdue. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Mason says Minecraft is for nerds. Mason, you have a house in our town. You're a nerd. Train man out.